here we are with shelf number 6.
Mm-hmm. Still in the musicals.
Still in the musicals. We have Repo, the Genetic Opera.
Which is really good. In fact, Paris Hilton is in this movie. And most people I know, it's Paris Hilton. But she does an absolutely wonderful job in this movie. Mm-hmm. It's really well done.
Yeah, I like it.
It's also really gory. It's pretty gory.
Yeah, it is.
And if you guys have seen the Jude Law movie Repo Man about it, it's based on that without the music. And that movie is terrible.
Okay. Then we have Sweeney Todd. Johnny Depp actually sings.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad.
I like it. Anyway, that is the end of the musicals, and now we're going to go into the fantasy section, which is the rest of the shelf. First off, we have Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Which is the first one, right?
Yes, that's the first one. It's actually a really good children's fantasy. There is religious undertones.
Tones.
Anyway, you can ignore those. The second one is Prince Caspian. It's kind of the return of the people, the characters from the first one to the next movie, back to the land. And it's also part of them being told you can't come back again. So kind of having to live with that. Okay, this is the third one and the last one. Apparently by this point it bombed. So they are not going to make any more.
What was the attempt at Walt Disney to find a Harry Potter?
Yeah, an answer to Harry Potter.
Yeah, and find a series of movies that do well. Mm-hmm. And these just didn't do well. Yeah.
So Voyage of the John Treader, that was the end. And then here was another one they tried. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This one's The Lightning Thief.
And this is actually, they tried so hard, they got the director of the first 2 Harry Potter movies to direct this one.
Mm-hmm. The first one was really good. The second one...
Not so much.
Not so much. Sea of Monsters. But if you have a chance, the book series is excellent. Rick Riordan did a really good job. And then on to another classic, Princess Bride. Actually, what's really neat is that you flip it over, you can read it still.
You killed my father, prepare to die.
Yes, that line will live forever. Okay, Red Riding Hood, and it's got 2, like an alternate ending. Amanda Siegfried. You can almost say it's a horror movie, because you have the big bad wolf coming after everybody. But I like it in the land of fantasy because it's a fairy tale.
It's also by the director of the first Twilight movie.
Oh, okay. Tin Man, this was a sci-fi miniseries. It's got Zooey Deschanel. Neil McDonough. He's playing
Damien Dark in the new season.
Dark in Arrow.
Yeah, new season of Arrow, season 4.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's a lot of fun.
He's known as the guy with blonde hair and crystal blue eyes, which I know sounds creepy coming from a guy, but his eyes are seriously unnaturally blue.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Twilight. New Moon. Twilight Eclipse. Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1. Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Yeah. Moving on.
And The Vampire Academy. I really liked the book, so I got the movie. But they spent way too much money making a movie that should not have been that expensive. So they tried to get the second one through Kickstarter, and no.
Yeah, they spent $100 million making that movie, and it looked like a $20 million movie.
It should have been a $1,000 movie. It wasn't.
Yeah, unless they were paying for a name actor that I didn't notice in there.
Mm-mm. The Vampire's Assistant, Cirque du Freak. It's been a while since I've watched that one.
Yeah, I don't even remember the name of it.
Yeah, and then we got the Spiderwick Chronicles. It's a neat idea of imagination.
One of my favorites. I do love this movie, Sorcerers Apprentice.
Nick Cage, yeah.
There is a scene in there, just real quick, something about old man shoes, that Nick Cage has perfect, crazy Nick Cage face.
Yes.
Yeah, it's perfect.
This is another one that I love the book series, so I got the movie, The Golden Compass. Unfortunately, it didn't do very well. I kind of wish that they could have wrapped it up with the 3-part, the trilogy, I guess.
Well, that's what they were trying to do, is they were trying to find a new Harry Potter. And so they were just doing anything at fantastic, fantasy, kids, young teens or kids book series. And they weren't working.
Well, no, nothing can go up against Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have Hugo.
That's a Martin Scorsese film, which, I mean, if you don't know who Martin Scorsese is, that's our phone, by the way. It's got a romantic comedy going on it. He's known more for, like, The Departed and these...
Oh, it's Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yes, it is. Departed and, like, Goodfellas, I believe.
Anyway, basically a children's book turned into movie.
Yeah, by Martin Scorsese.
It was good.
We're just lucky the lead character didn't get shot in the face.
Oh, and here's another one based on a book by Stephanie Meyers, The Host. I could never get into the book, but the movie was actually pretty good. Basically, it's about an alien race taking over, and one of them saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't.
That's awful. It's just awful.
Well, I liked it.
It's awful.
Okay, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. I believe this was one of Heath Ledger's last movies.
In fact, it was Heath Ledger's last movie. That's why Johnny Depp, Jude Law, and Colin Farrell are all in this movie. He was filming this movie when he died, and when he did, they brought in these other 3 actors who I believe did it for free as the same character, so they didn't have to scrap the whole movie because Heath Ledger loved this movie. So,
okay. One of my favorites, based on a comic book.
Is it really?
I Am Number 4, or they made comic books about the movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
Oh, it's got that one guy, Alex Pfeiffer, or whatever his name is. He's a jackass.
Yeah, that guy.
Actually, that's what cost him the role in the Magic Mike sequel, is that from what I read, him and Channing Tatum got into a fist fight. And got his ass kicked.
Anyway, this is another one that I wish they would have had the opportunity to wrap up this story, because I want to know what happened next. Guess I should get the comic books.
You could.
Or graphic novels, I guess. Inkheart, this one has Brendan Fraser.
Hey, Paul Bettany is in that movie?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Most people would know him as Jarvis. And Helen Mirren.
Oh. It's actually a decent story.
Helen Mirren's awesome.
And we got Jackie Chan and Jet Li in The Forbidden Kingdom.
Which I know seems weird to be under the fantasy column, but it should be, most people would think it would be under the action movies. This one actually is a fantasy. It's based on, I'm going to say Chinese, an old Chinese story. It's well done, and the story's really good. But just watch it and you'll understand why it's fantasy.
Yeah.
And Jackie Chan plays a drunk guy through the entire movie.
Which is pretty epic. Okay, then we have the Highlander movie.
Which you can't help but love. It's immortal people trying to cut each other's heads off. And then when they do, it's lightning. So, awesome.
And then a Halloween classic, Hocus Pocus with Bette Midler.
Yeah.
They're talking about making a sequel.
And here's one that's pretty funny, is that Bette Midler is not my favorite actress. She's kind of an egotist, but that is her favorite movie she's ever done. That brings her regard to me a little higher, to know that, like what should be a simple kids movie is her favorite movie she's ever done.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, next up, Willy Wonka. The original.
Yeah, not that. It's funny to me, because the book is called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This one is called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and it's about Charlie.
And then the other one is called Charlie, and it's about Willy Wonka.
Yeah. Read the book.
Got it backwards.
This one's better.
Okay. The Wizard of Oz.
I am so glad they didn't let Tim Burton redo this movie.
Oh, God, they should have stayed away.
Well, they did. Well, except with Oz, Great and Powerful.
Yeah.
Which is done by, I believe it was Sam Raimi.
Actually, that's over here.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, The Last Airbender. I never watched the cartoons.
Or the anime.
Or
read the books.
Yeah, so because of that, I like the movie. Apparently, if you watch those, this is apparently a really bad misrepresentation.
Why did they let M. Night Shyamalan direct it?
I have no idea.
It's probably the same reason they didn't let him direct the last Harry Potter movie. Probably a big twist at the end is that Harry Potter is Voldemort from the future. Moving on. Sorry.
Okay. We have the Maze Runner.
We haven't picked up the sequel yet, though.
Not yet. This is a pretty decent... It's a kind of post-apocalyptic...
It's kind of... It's after... What the hell was that Jennifer Lawrence movie? The 4 movies that just came out.
Oh, the Hunger Games.
Yeah, it's... These movies are being made because those are so popular, and this one is actually doing pretty well. So...
The Seventh Son. Which
is actually really a fun movie. I had a lot of fun with it. I wasn't going to watch it, but it just caught my attention.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And then we have Jack the Giant Slayer.
Which I haven't seen.
I actually really like it.
So.
Sorry. It's simple fairy tale. It's just fun.
Hold on. Got camera issues. There we go.
Better?
Yep.
Okay. Willow.
Oh, I love Willow. Most people are surprised to find out that this is a Ron Howard film. This is a great movie. Val Kilmer, sword, sorcery, and a little person caring for a baby. It's fun, and the little guy, the little person, I can't remember his name, is the same guy who plays the leprechaun, and he's Professor Flitwick in the first 2 Harry Potters and the last one. We're having camera issues over here. Anyway, keep going.
And then Hook. It's got Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, Julia Roberts, and Bob Hoskins. A couple big names thrown out there.
Bob Hoskins. I miss him.
Mr. Smee. Yeah, a lot of fun. This is the newer Disney version of Maleficent. It's actually really, really well done.
I haven't watched it all.
Basically, they took the Sleeping Beauty story and showed it from the...
so they basically did the Wicked with Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched it yet. I probably will at some point.
It's worth a watch. It's good. We got Snow White and the Huntsman. Kristen Stewart really didn't do a good job with the movie, but all of the rest of the characters, Charlize Theron, Chris Hemsworth, they carried it so well that we kind of ignore the fact that she's in it.
The fact that she has... Like, if she was to attempt to smile, her face would break.
Yes.
Well, anyway.
The emotional range of a teaspoon, to borrow a line. Okay, Mira Mira. This one came out right about the same time. And this one's so much better.
That's also a lot funnier. It's also funny.
It's a lot lighter.
That's for sure.
It's not so dark.
Nathan Lane's character in this movie is hilarious.
Which one is Nathan Lane?
The guy who got, unfortunately, turned into a cockroach. He was the lackey.
He was so much fun. Anyway, Lily Collins is becoming one of my favorite actresses.
Is she the eyebrow girl?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I remember her from
Abduction.
Abduction, yeah.
Yes. She got her eyebrows under control.
I'm sorry. Classic monster. That could technically be under the horror movie section, but I just couldn't put it there. I loved this movie. This is the same guy who did a movie called Night of the Creeps, and then unfortunately didn't do much else until he directed RoboCop 3, which halfway through making that movie, they decided, hey, we're going to go from a hard R to a PG-13. And then he caught all the shitstorm from it, so.
Okay. Then we have Nanny McPhee and Nanny McPhee Returns. Those two are kind of a Mary Poppins ripoff. But
except Mary Poppins is ugly. That's kind of the point, right?
Well, they kind of stand on their own. I mean, even if they are a ripoff. And we have Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is the Jim Carrey version, which I do like because it expands the background on the Grinch, but I also understand why a lot of people don't like it.
Also, most people would know if they bought this movie. It usually comes in a green case. Well, this was a Blu Ray DVD combo, and when you opened it up with the green case, the DVD was stuck in a paper sleeve.
Yeah, so we actually
put it in a combo bag case.
Yeah, this is a new one I got this year. The Nutcracker. It's got Elle Fanning. And
Nathan Lane.
it's simple. It's fun.
She got it for Christmas. She enjoyed it. So what do you want?
And then we got the George C. Scott Christmas Carol.
Which is regarded as one of the best versions of the Christmas Carol. I do enjoy this. I watch it every time it came on TV. And so when I found it at Walmart for $5, I decided to buy it. But I didn't watch it because I watched it on TV. Which is kind of sad.
Yeah, we'll watch it in like July or something.
Usually.
Okay. Then we got Oz the Great and Powerful.
I believe
Was it Mila Kunis in this one?
Yes. And we checked who the director is. I believe it's Sam Raimi. Yeah, right there. Sam Raimi.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, the guy who did Evil Dead directed an Oz movie. A Wizard of Oz movie, not the prison show Oz.
It actually turned out to be a pretty good movie. It was definitely weird, but, you know, that's Oz for you. Okay, and then we got the...
Life.
Yes, the horse scene.
Yeah. Let's just move on.
Okay. Then we got the Mortal Instrument, City of Bones. Also Lily Collins again.
Is this the one with the TV show's coming out?
The TV show starts on January 13th.
Oh, okay. That was 12th. But...
Anyway, something like that. I'm looking forward to it. I really liked the books in the series, so we'll figure it out.
Figure it out?
Figure it out. Whatever.
Alrighty.
Okay, Beautiful Creatures. A lot of people said if you read the books that you're going to hate the movie. I love the movie. Never read the books. Set in the South. But don't let that fool you. It's actually a pretty decent movie.
Jeremy Irons is awesome. There's one scene that I've seen repeatedly with him at some kind of town meeting at a church, and he is awesome in that one scene.
Yes. Okay, this one's kind of older. It's The Covenant.
It's chick eye candy. It's witches. It's male witches.
Male witches, descendants of the witches from Salem.
Yeah. There's not much to say. It's not a very good movie. It's from the producers of from Underworld, and you could just tell that they were trying to make another sequel, and they decided, hey, let's do witchcraft instead of vampires and werewolves. Unfortunately, it just wasn't very good.
Okay. We got The Craft.
Which is a much better witch movie.
Crazy Nancy. Okay, a Jim Henson movie. This one's The Dark Crystal.
I love Jim Henson's work. I mean,
Yes.
all of his, the Muppets, the puppet work, this one and the next movie are both Jim Henson movies, actually.
The Labyrinth is Jim Henson?
Yes, it is. I believe it is.
Yes, it is.
It says Jim Henson.
Anyway,
No.
also another good one.
Yeah, which it's a little creepy because David Bowie's ever increasing codpiece size, and the fact that Jennifer Connelly is only like 15 in this movie.
Yeah.
It's a little creepy.
One of the new series. This one's Divergent. It's the first one. Kind of a coming into who you are sort of thing.
God, it had that Jai Courtney in it too.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then the tragedy at the end leads into the second one, which is having to deal with the consequences and then believing in yourself afterward. So, Insurgent. And then, I believe, here in a few months, we're going to have the next one, Allegiant, come out.
yeah.
So then moving on, we have Ella Enchanted. It's Anne Hathaway's first singing role.
Is it?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, she's got a good voice. It's a good,
It's a
like,
good.
simple fairy tale.
Yeah. Sometimes magical gifts aren't so much gifts.
Yeah. And then we have the Fallen. It says complete movie event. It's like a TV miniseries. It's based on the book, and it's definitely interesting. Okay, Eragon.
Another Jeremy Irons movie.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is that John Malkovich?
Yes, it is.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. Unfortunately, this was another series that they threw out the first movie. It didn't do so well. They no longer made movies. The 4-book.
Sorry, our giant cat is making noise again.
Yeah. Anyway, they quit. It didn't do very well. You can't compete against Harry Potter. That's what I've come up with.
Yeah. Now we're getting the Hunger Games clones, which actually some of them are turning out to be pretty good. Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters is actually a lot of fun. I really like this movie. Jeremy.
It is epic.
Yeah, I cannot remember Jeremy Renner. I think
Jeremy Renner.
And I can't remember her name is, what it is off the top of my head right now. But they do really well in this movie. It's really fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's worth watching.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have a couple Tim Burton movies. We got the new Alice in Wonderland. Although I've heard that they're making a...
It's already made.
Oh, it's made? We're just waiting for it to come out?
It's called Through the Looking Glass, or Alice Through the Looking Glass, which is the name of the second book.
Mm-hmm. So they said this one was supposed to be a sequel, but it seemed like a retelling of the first one, and I love how in the movie, you think she'd remember this from the first time.
Yeah, when you're self-aware like that, that's not a good thing, folks.
Okay, and then we have Edward Scissorhands.
I think
This is the 25th anniversary edition.
The only other time Tim Burton had an original idea.
Okay, and then the last one for the fantasy in this
line.
Okay, are Where the Wild Things Are. I haven't watched it yet, but everybody says good things.
Okay, we'll see you on shelf number 7. After I find a chair, because these shelves are getting low.